What up, kinfolk? It's your boy Screwface Capone, and what better way to start off the week than with me? Anyway, welcome to the first episode of Screwface's Toy Shelf, or if you want to be cynical, the most recent toy second unboxing video. So the name change is part of the this branding I'm working on, this rebranding. Trying to clean up things a little and give it a bit more flashier image. But it's still going to be the same great content. So anyway, today we're going to be looking at the Myarcade Pocket Player Bases Loaded. As a lot of you know, one of my favorite things to do when I'm out shopping is to look for these video game related knickknacks and doodads, take them home, unbox them, and give them some first impressions. And that's what we're going to do with this bad boy. So if you've watched my channel a few times in the past, you're no doubt familiar with Myarcade. I took a look at a couple of their devices. A lot of you remember that. Some of you might remember that big 90-minute ugly clusterfuck of a video I did where I looked at 3 separate devices. One of them being that Data East thing. And a few years ago, I took a look at this bad boy, this Data East mini arcade cabinet. I got that video in the collection if you want to watch it. And I always keep this bad boy on my desk. So what Myarcade is they're one of those companies that specialize in retro style equipment. If you've gone to Walmart, then you've seen those retro style controllers they've got for the Switch. And if you go into Walgreens, you've even seen those little pocket player devices with the 200 or whatever games on it. And they're all pretty generic. You might even see some of the mini arcades they've done. And most recently they put out a Galaga handheld, which has a similar design to this one. So it looks like they're stepping their quality up when it comes to their stuff. So we're gonna see if that's the case. Anyway, Bases Loaded. So Bases Loaded was part of a sports series that was created by Jaleco. It's known in Japan as the Moreo series or the Burn series. So in Japan, this is known as Moreo Pro Yakyu. And I apologize if I mispronounced that. So Bases Loaded was... now, there are also a few other titles in the series. There's Moreo Pro Tennis, which is called Racket Attack over here. Moreo Pro Soccer, which we know is Goal. And Moreo Junior Basket 2-on-2, which is called Hoops. And... there are 7 games on here, and if you open up the flap, you pretty much get all of them, all the NES ones. There was also a judo game called Moreo Judo Warriors, but it never left Japan. So anyway, what Bases Loaded is, it was a baseball game franchise which started on the NES. There were no real players and no real teams, even though baseball player Ryan Sandberg lent his endorsement to the third game. So, in fact, you remember the familiar older heads might remember the familiar Ryan Sandberg Plays Bases Loaded 3. There were 4 titles on the NES, and then they made the jump to the Super NES, where they were redubbed the Super Bases Loaded series. These games actually had like an MLB player's license. So while there were still no real MLB teams, they had real players in it, kind of like Tecmo Bowl almost. The last game in the series, barring some of the arcade spinoffs, was a PlayStation Saturn game called Moreo Bases Loaded Doubleheader 96. Again, while it didn't have any actual teams, it did have actual players, and they had like stats that were accurate for the 96 baseball season. So as I said, they parlayed the series off into an additional one, Racket Attack, Goal, and Hoops. And here's this thing that they came up with. I actually found this at Walmart when I had just moved up to Tulsa, and I stopped at Walmart to grab some stuff, so I found this and decided to pick it up. So here's the package. Bases Loaded, 7 sports titles. Of course, 4 of those are Bases Loaded and its sequels, but hey. And here's the back of it. It's powered by four AAA batteries or one USB micro. Looks like it eats up a lot of power. So we're gonna go ahead and open this bad boy up. All right, here we go. Here is the thing, and of course there has to be like two little pieces of tape on the side. But one thing you know about the hinge is like it seems to be like magnetic inside. There's something that causes it to stick when you open it. Of course, my camera's getting a bit blurry. So if you flip it, then it snaps shut. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and use my pin to open this bad boy. So, story, my late parents, they used to play a lot of video game baseball back in the day. So, me and my brother would actually rent video games every Friday when we were in grade school. And one week we ended up renting RBI Baseball, which was Tenjin's famous baseball game. And they kind of fell in love with it because, you know, my dad used to like watch a lot of baseball on TV. So like after me and my brother would go to sleep, my mom and my dad would stay up on our Nintendo, and they played for a few hours before they went to sleep. Eventually though, they discovered Baseball Stars because you'd actually make your own team and all that stuff. And they kind of fell in love with that. So they rented. So they would rent that a lot of times, and they rented so many times. Like just before, like the video store that we would rent games from went out of business, then they actually gave it to them for free. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, if you look right here, like you can see there's the little magnets. But yeah, we got the thing open up now. Here's what looks like a little advertisement. And here's a lot of mini arcades that I was talking about earlier. You probably saw a lot of these in stores. We're gonna take this off. And here's the unit. It actually feels pretty small in my hands. So we're gonna peel this thing off. I like the design though. It definitely feels sturdy. It doesn't feel like an empty plastic shell like the Data East one did. So here it is. So I don't have a micro USB, so I'm gonna go grab one real quick, or grab some buttons. Oh yeah, another thing. Here's what the back sides look out. So you actually take these off in order to put in the batteries. But I'm going to go scare up a micro USB real quick so we can turn this bad boy on. Alright, so we're about ready to turn this bad boy on. As you can see, I decided to dim the lights and to flip the camera's perspective around because like it's a pain in the ass to like really get some accurate footage from the thing. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Is this thing plugged in? Okay, here we go. Let's plug it all the way in. So here's the Myarcade screen, and here's the actual menu. Looks pretty generic. Of course, everything's backwards. Let me do this. Yeah, I know. Extremely unprofessional. We're going to go ahead and select Bases Loaded. Now, one thing you'll notice is that at the bottom of the screen where it would say Jaleco Ltd, it says City Connection. That's because a company calling themselves City Connection, which is based on one of Jaleco's games, kind of like swiped up the rights to their IPs. And I'll hit on that more when I do the whole Jaleco gaming archaeology episode. Let's go ahead and select our team. It's kind of funny because like most of these actually represent cities, but like this is actually Utah. is in the state of Utah. I mean, no specific city in Utah, like Salt Lake. So of course you can pitch it. Of course you can do fielding and stuff. Now you don't have stuff like unlike other retro devices, like you really don't have things like yeah, you don't really have things like save states or anything like that. Unless there's something I'm missing, then here we go. Haha, you're out, bitch. But like, and you really can't just go straight to the to any kind of menu to switch games. You got to turn it off and turn it back on. That kind of sucks because I think even the Data East handheld had that, or maybe I don't remember. But here's Hoops. And again, another thing you'll notice is that like a lot of these like have the two-player options removed. Player select profile. Mr. Dog, Jammer, Barbie, Face, Bomber, Zap, Legs, and Wiz. LeBron, eat your heart out. Steph Curry ain't got nothing on Face. Because obviously you can't play multiplayer on these, even though the original games were multiplayer, so it's kind of like you're missing out on that. Pretty face. You got that little cinematic, kind of like in Double Dribble. See, white men really can't jump. Ooh, so you can guard, steal, and all that good stuff. So that's enough on this. Yeah, let's go ahead and give it some final thoughts, because I don't want to spend too much long on this. But yeah, that was the Bases Loaded Pocket Player from Myarcade. So that was the Pocket Player Myarcade for Bases Loaded. So for 20 to 25 bucks, you can do worse. But, and for what it's worth, it does a good job of emulating those classic NES titles. Although if a handheld device released in 2021 can't emulate NES titles by now, then you got a problem. But as far as like more hardcore retro device collectors, I'm not sure if you would be feeling it a lot. It doesn't, it lacks things such as like save states and HDMI connections and things like that. And like the other thing that bothers me is that you got to turn the thing off to switch games. Like I think even this thing had a menu button or something like that, which even this thing had a menu button or something that could let you back out to the menu. So that's kind of a bit clunky design-wise. Now, if you're entry level into these kinds of things, retro devices and retro gaming, then again, I would recommend it. Like I said, they do a pretty good job of emulating the games, and at the end of the day, they're pretty fun to play. But if you're interested in just checking out the games, period, I know they re-release these things all the time. Like maybe they'll be coming to that Nintendo Online, or if you want to seek out the emulators. Well, I'm not telling you where to get them, but if emulation is your thing, then you do you. But if you're a stickler, then go ahead and seek out the original cartridges. Like I said, like you get the original experience, and of course I got the two-player modes. But anyway, that wraps up for this edition of Screwface's Toy Chest. If you like this device, then definitely check out my feature on Data East. Not only do I go through the entire history of the company, but I also take a look at this device right here. I know, because know you guys are getting intrigued by it, or you're sick and tired of me showing it off. So go ahead and watch that. And if mini arcades are your thing, then check out this bad boy, the Neo Geo Mini. That's another video that I got. It's got 40 arcade games built in, and it's also another pretty good unit if you like these arcade games. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Audi 51000G, kinfolk.